When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson. I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. You try to end the conversation, but they just won't stop. You leave the room. You go in the kitchen or the bathroom, but they follow you. You lock the door of the bathroom, and they stand outside waiting, maybe even yelling and banging on the door, "Let me in," or "Come talk to me." When you say that you need space, they accuse you of abandoning them or running away or, just not caring. When you try to take the space that you need, they refuse to let you. If this sounds familiar to you, you are not alone. There are far too many people that are living this way. And today we're going to talk about how to stop a circular conversation with a covert narcissistic spouse, especially when they refuse to let you disengage, to let you leave, to let you take a little bit of space. I will be sharing with you real strategies that can help you to take back your space, to take back your power, to protect your peace, and to recognize when something, crosses that line from manipulation to actual coercive control. Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm Renee Swanson, and you deserve to be heard. You deserve space when you ask for it. Now, I want to start by exploring this cycle that happens, this cycle that puts you in a circular conversation. You bring something up that's on your mind, and they start deflecting everything you say. Maybe it begins with, even a sharp word from them, and you try to express your feelings about this, your thoughts and your opinions. But somehow, no matter what you say, they twist it, they deflect it, they tell you that you are wrong, or they make it all about them. Well, now the circular conversation has begun. And around you go, feeling frustrated, drained, and always feeling unheard. So you do what any emotionally healthy person would do. You try to take a step back. You try to step away and clear your mind. You try to get a little bit of breathing space. You might even say, "Hey, I need a moment. Let me take a minute and calm down," or "Let's talk later." But they just won't let you. You head to the kitchen and they follow you. You go to the bedroom and they follow you. You head to the bathroom and still they follow you. They follow you, talking the whole time, accusing the whole time, deflecting the whole time, blaming the whole time. They follow you from room to room. They block the door and don't let you by, and they then accuse you of abandoning them. Does this sound familiar? Now, this is not just a normal disagreement. This doesn't happen in healthy relationships where people respect each other's space. This is a control tactic. Because, you see, a covert narcissist, they don't want resolution. They want to keep you emotionally engaged. They want you off balance, which is crazy. This is your spouse, your partner, and they want you doubting yourself and questioning yourself. They want you on the defense. Covert narcissists often use circular conversations to manipulate, confuse, and exhaust you. They keep you trapped in an endless loop of blame, defensiveness, and frustration. I will say this, resolution is not their goal. Keeping you trapped in the conversation is. Keeping you on these loops, these endless loops, is what they're after. They don't want to understand you. Instead, they want to keep you seeking their understanding. This is a trap. And it's a trap that shows up so many times in these relationships. Stopping a circular conversation with a covert narcissist can feel absolutely impossible. It's one of the hardest things I've ever tried to do, and it's the loneliest place I've ever been in this world. You see, stopping it requires this combination of awareness, self-awareness, boundaries, and disengagement techniques. If you've ever tried the gray rock method, this is where you just become boring like a gray rock. You give these short, neutral responses. But if you've ever tried that, you might have noticed that sometimes it actually backfires. Instead of making them less interested, they actually can get more engaged, they can get angrier and more on the offense. Why? Because they thrive on emotional reactions. And when you stop giving them one, they panic. They actually become more intense. And so this sometimes doesn't seem to work and can actually make your situation worse. If direct, short answers are making them angrier, there are things you can do. You can soften the delivery while still keeping your emotional energy protected. The key to this is sounding neutral, but not cold. I'll say it again, neutral, but not cold. Reducing the tension without giving them anything to latch onto. So you might say, well, okay, how do I do that? Well, let's talk about how to gray rock without triggering more escalation. You see, the goal here is to not let things escalate, to not let things, erupt or grow with the tension. So instead of using abrupt one-word replies like, okay, sure, fine, let's try to find more low emotion, non-defensive, and less triggering responses. So when they ask, how was your day? And you really don't want to talk to them, and you know that, even the simple question has the risk of blowing up and becoming some blame game and becoming a problem. Well, instead of answering, fine, when we say fine, this causes them to take offense. Can, at least, definitely has that potential, and now they're going to start poking at you. Well, what's wrong with you? Do you just not want to talk? What's going on? What's wrong? So instead of fine, maybe answer, yeah, it's been a fine day. That subtle difference. It still doesn't really provide anything, useful. It's nothing they can latch onto. You're still just answering fine. but it's just a tad bit more engaging. So this gray rock method, this gray rocking, becomes less noticeable. You use just a few more words. That's really it. So if they ask, hey, do you want to watch a movie tonight? And maybe you don't really want to, but you know you can't say no. And so you say, sure. Well, sure sounds totally unenthusiastic and can cause a reaction from them. So instead, answer, okay, we can do that. It's a few more words. It's just that simple. And if they ask, did you see the news today? And they're trying to engage in conversation instead of no, which communicates shut up. And you already know that they're not going to shut up, even though you may want them to. Instead, just answer, no, I haven't. That simple change. They might still go on about the news, but they were going to do that anyways. But this is better than them now attacking you for being shut off or being mean. And now they're blaming you for the breakdown in communication. You see, these answers are still not engaging with them, but they're also not the sharp one-word answers that can set off a volcano. So you still don't have to really engage with them to do this, but you can do it without setting off their defensive meanness. Well, what if they say, even with your shorter answers, but not short answers, you don't even care about what I'm saying? Well, now you might need to deflect this with a little bit more of an answer. You could say something very simple as, I'm listening, I just don't have anything to add right now. Now, why do these kind of answers work? Because they don't give an emotional reaction, which is what they want and what you are trying to avoid. They are still neutral, but they're not dismissive. So it has less of a potential to escalate the situation or to set off the time bomb that you feel like you're standing in front of.
What's the difference between DIY and doing it yourself? It's the difference between a part-time passion and a full-time business. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker. With a website that fits your unique vision and the business tools you need to succeed. Let your ideas flow with AI that guides you, but keeps you in the driver's seat. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Do it yourself. Go to Wix.com.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Avoid the blaming, the defending, or the explanations, which is more likely to stop the loop. These responses just don't give them fuel for the argument. But they also don't sound like you're shutting them down completely. The goal is to disengage or protect your emotional space and your emotional energy without provoking them further. Now, let's talk about this really tough part, when they literally will not let you leave the conversation. I absolutely hate it for anyone who understands this, anyone who's living this, because this is where things get serious. Blocking your exit, whether it's following you from room to room, standing in front of a doorway, taking your keys and not letting you leave, trapping you inside a room or inside the house, this is not okay. And it's not just unhealthy. This is actually a form of control, of coercive control. It is absolutely a form of abuse. You do not deserve to live as a hostage. Since reasoning with them will not work in the moment, your focus should be on de-escalating. This focus becomes self-protection while preparing for a long-term solution. But you might have to do the preparing for the long-term solution in the weird calm times that are between the escalations. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So in these situations, I want you to avoid direct confrontation. Avoid saying things like, leave me alone, or stop talking, or shut up. Instead, let's change that a little bit to, this isn't a good time for me. This is setting boundaries for you and putting it into terms of you. You might even say, hey, I want to be able to hear you. I do. But I need a little space first. I need to clear my head first. You might even say, I'd like to have a productive conversation, but maybe when I can have a moment to calm down. Consider a way of giving them the illusion of control. Narcissists love this, while giving you a way out in the moment. So if they're saying, oh, I see, you don't even want to talk to me, you don't even care, give them that little, illusion of control by saying, look, I do care what you are saying. I do want to listen, but I struggle to listen when I'm upset. I need to clear my head first. Then I will be able to hear you. This gives them a little bit of an element of respect or a little stroking of their ego, which, let's agree, we're just going to have to do that sometimes when we're dealing with a narcissist. It can give you a little bit of space. Another strategy is to use a boring, low energy tone. The calmer and less reactive you are, the less satisfying that it is for them. Remember, they want the engagement. They want the emotional reaction. So keep your voice flat and neutral. No anger, no frustration, no pleading, no explaining yourself. This just gives them fuel. Use as few of words as possible, but not too short so that it sounds cold. Use a neutral excuse to physically remove yourself. I need to get some water. I need to use the restroom. I have to check on something real quick. You might even try a pattern interrupt. If they are relentless, try disrupting the cycle with an unexpected response. Suddenly switch the topic. Hey, did you see the neighbor got a new car? Or maybe ask a random question. Well, that one was a random question, but here's another example. Do you remember what time the store closes tonight? Maybe even act like you just misheard what they said. Wait, did you say something about dinner? You see, this can interrupt their rampage that they're about to jump on. It can short-circuit their control because they're expecting emotional engagement. They're expecting defensiveness, but you don't give them that. Now, if you are feeling physically unsafe, you must prioritize this. Quietly text a friend, or if necessary, please call for help. Here's what I need you to hear today. This is not normal relationship conflict. It's not. This is not okay. Blocking your exit, not okay. Following you and refusing to give you the space that you want or that you're asking for, this is not okay. This is coercive control tactics. It's designed to make you feel powerless and small. It is intended to keep you emotionally trapped and even physically trapped. This is not okay. If someone refuses to let you leave a conversation, this is not normal. If they block the door, follow you, or guilt trip you into staying, this is control, not love. Please don't misinterpret this as love. You deserve to have space, safety, and autonomy. You do not have to live like this. And if you want, I can help you think through those safe next steps based on your situation. Now, at a time when things are calmer, Use those weird okay times. Like if you've lived with a covert narcissist, you know what I'm talking about. Those weird okay spaces that actually can give you a little bit of hope that the relationship's okay. Instead, let's start using that time to reach out for help. Begin the process of understanding and strategizing. You do not owe anyone unlimited access to your time, your emotions, or your presence. You have the right to walk away. You have the right to take your space. You have the right to feel safe in your own home, in your own skin. If you are dealing with this, I want you to start documenting. Start writing this down. Write down what's happening. Put a date and time on it. Keep a journal. Keep it somewhere safe, by all means, but keep a journal. Tell a trusted friend, a family member. If this has been going on for a while, I want you to ask yourself, what would life look like if you weren't constantly tap dancing around their feelings and their reactions? What would life look like if you weren't living, walking on eggshells day in and day out? Many people, including myself, think I'm waiting for just the big enough fight to justify leaving or taking space or getting help. I'm waiting for that big enough moment. I encourage you instead, use the calm times that's in between the fights, in between the storms, to find the resources and the support. Do it during these calm times because then you're not doing it so emotionally driven. Use these times to work on your healing and to find the help that you need. Now, I know that these conversations are not easy. They're not easy to get through. I dreaded them. Every time one would spark, I hated it. My whole system would cringe. I know that when you are in it, it can feel like there is absolutely no way out. But I want you to know, you are not crazy. You are not overreacting, and you are not alone. If you are ready to take the next step toward healing, check out my coaching services at covertnarcissism.com. There's lots of different resources there just for you. I do offer both individual and small group sessions to help you break free from these toxic cycles. They're cycles, they're loops that we get trapped in. It's time for you to reclaim your life. And don't forget to subscribe for more empowering episodes like this one. Until next time, do take care of yourself. Trust your instincts, listen to your gut, and remember, I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. You have been listening to the Covert Narcissism Podcast. If you are struggling with covert narcissism in your life, I help people to heal from covert narcissistic abuse. If you are struggling with the isolation, the self-doubt, and the obsessive thinking, then this is the program for you. I offer both group and individual options. This is live, personalized coaching that is specific to covert narcissism. Reach out to me anytime. You can find me at my website, covertnarcissism.com. I'm not a therapist and you are not a victim. I am a coach, and you are a survivor. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson and the Covert Narcissism Podcast is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes and not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. It does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and information provided.
You know where your business would be without you. Imagine where it could go with more of you. Well, With Wix, you can create a website with more of your vision, your voice, your expertise. Wix gives you the freedom to truly own your brand and do it on your own. With full customization and advanced AI tools that help turn your ideas into reality. Scale up without being held back by cookie-cutter solutions and grow your business into your online brand. Because without you, your business is just business as usual. Take control. Go to Wix.com.